This time on KEI Fabrication.
Alright folks, so let me explain. What you do for your grandkids, right? Hey folks, my name is Mike. This is KEI Fabrication and welcome to my shop. Kind of seems to be a theme going on here. Alright folks, if I don't get back on this Mazda and kind of put the modified to the side for a little while, you know, it's going to be this time next year and it'll be right where it still is. So I'm going to just explain to you one of the reasons why I had to just turn the switch off on this from the project standpoint. What I've done is I've done a lot of things to help relocate the rack and remove the steering box, put the rack and pinion in, and there's a lot of other things and improvements that I want to make. This was mocked up as an experiment. I'm checking bump steer. My plan has changed from where it was to something new, and that is I'm actually going to lower the truck. I told you that this is a multi-purpose truck, and that's one of the reasons why these changes that I'm making now are so difficult, because I'm going to lower it because I want to road race it, I want to spectator drag it, I also want to drag race it, and someday I'd like to drift it. So I'm going to lower the truck. I already have my 2-inch drop spindles here. The problem is I lowered the truck 1 inch and change using the factory spindle, relocating the ball joints and such. If I don't undo that to put this on, I'm going to end up with like a 3-inch drop, and that's way too much. So what I've got to do is I've kind of got to go back to the drawing board. I've got to take it down off of these ladder jacks on the lift. I've got to put wheels on it, and I've got to set the ride height where I need it to be. I'm actually going to take it off the ladder jacks. The reason why I have this style lift is so I can use it as a chassis jig. So what I'm going to do is put cross members from one runner to the other, and I'll put physical vertical stands that are tack welded to the lift and then tack welded to the frame to hold it in position. And I'll make sure that's good all the way around. The other dilemma is to mock up some rear ends and get to the point where I could build a fixture so I could narrow rear ends without taking my truck apart and using it as a fixture. I've got the back end of the truck all apart. In the meantime, I'm going to put 2-inch lowering blocks in, and again I've got to, so here's the escalation of this problem. Now I have to C-notch the frame to make clearance for the additional travel of the suspension. So a lot of stuff is going on both ends of the truck, but I have to go backwards before I can go forwards, and that is get this thing at a ride height that I'm going to drive it at, and then build basically a temporary fixture to support the truck where it needs to go. So this is the first rear end I put in the truck. It's a 373 posi, however the clutches are pretty much worn out. So I'm going to order a set of clutches. Once the clutches are in and I get the rear end put back together, I'm going to put it back in the truck so I can put it in there and clamp it down. Regardless of what I do with the truck, once the clutches are fixed with that, I should be able to do any 4 of those types of events that would make the truck reliable. Right now the problem I have is the clutches are so worn. As soon as you unload the inside rear tire, the clutches break free, and it's unpredictable, and it really causes problems on the track. The rear end that's in the truck now is going to be a spool, a mini spool, or a locker by Lincoln. All right? I haven't decided yet. So when I do something that is going to be road racing, drag racing, drifting, and even spectator drags, I know that that rear end isn't going to unlock on me. So the bottom line is right now that the truck is up in the air. I can't even lower it down because I've got projects stored underneath it. The Taylor Dunn cart is going down to the shop at my house so I can work on it when it's warm and at my leisure. I need to do a lot of work on the software on this project, and I can plug my laptop in at home, data log, do all those things, and do that right in the shop at home. So I have to get that out of here. I have to lower the truck down. I have to reassemble it, get it at the ride height, the new ride height that I'm trying to establish, fixture the frame to the lift, which is going to be my frame jig, and then I can do the caster camber survey, the bump steer survey. I can set my Ackerman and all of those sorts of things. So the plans I have are quite extensive, and I don't want to start moving forward with this until the truck is at the position it needs to be ride height wise. Because I'm changing that, I lost all of my references, and I need to go back and regain those. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I need to go back together so I can take it further apart, if that makes any sense. That's the plan. I should have this out of here tomorrow. I can lower the truck down, start putting it back together, and then establish the new ride height. I'll take you folks all through that process, and then I'll show you what I'm up to with my front spindles, my steering arms, and all those things that should increase or enhance the performance of this vehicle.
May not look like it, but we're back on the Mazda today. Haven't touched it since July of 2021. I got the rear end back in it to measure for some U-bolts that I need to order, and I got the front wheels and hubs and rotors back on. Getting ready to set this thing back down on the lift, establish the new ride height, fixture it to the lift, and then we can start taking it back apart and get the suspension geometry all tuned up. Alright folks, that's it for this time. Remember, if you can't be good, be spectacular.